In the heart of the rugged, desolate mountains, where jagged peaks pierced the sky and ancient pines whispered secrets to the wind, there lay a dark and sinister tale that had haunted the region for centuries. These mountains, known locally as the Blackened Spire Range, had earned their ominous reputation from the many inexplicable disappearances and eerie happenings that had occurred within their shadowy valleys. The story began with the legend of the vanished village. Nestled deep within the craggy embrace of the mountains, the village had once thrived with life and laughter. But one fateful winter's night, a blizzard of supernatural proportions descended upon the hamlet. The snowstorm was said to have been summoned by an ancient and malevolent spirit, the Frostbinder. Legend had it that the spirit, angered by the villagers' disregard for the sacred grooves that were its domain. As the blizzard raged, the villagers huddled together in their homes, their bodies slowly succumbing to the bitter cold. Outside, the Frostbinder wailed, its mournful cries echoing through the narrow alleys. When dawn finally broke, the blizzard had vanished, but the village had not. The houses were empty and the villagers had all vanished without a trace. The only sign of their presence was the ghostly imprint of their frozen forms etched into the walls and floors of their abandoned homes. Over the centuries, the tale of the vanished village had become a chilling cautionary tale, and the mountains had earned their name. Superstition ran deep in the hearts of those who lived near the range, and few dared to venture into its heart, especially after dark. One gloomy autumn evening, a group of intrepid hikers decided to challenge the mountain's fearsome reputation. Among them were Emma, a fearless adventurer, known for her relentless curiosity, and Jack, a seasoned outdoorsman with a pragmatic disposition. As the group ascended higher into the range, they couldn't help but feel the oppressive weight of the legends that clung to the peaks. As the sun dipped below the horizon, they set up camp in a small, moonlit clearing surrounded by towering pines. They gathered around a crackling campfire, sharing stories and laughter to ward off the growing unease. But as the night wore on, the forest seemed to close in around them, and the wind whispered unsettling secrets in their ears. A sudden, bone-chilling gust of wind extinguished their fire, plunging them into darkness. Panic set in as they fumbled for flashlights, but the beams of light revealed only the dense shadows of the forest. Then, from the depths of the woods, they heard a mournful wail like the keening of a tormented soul. Fear gripped the group as they clung to one another there, flashlights trembling in their hands. The wail grew louder, drawing closer with each passing moment. It was the Frostbinder, they were sure of it, and it sought to claim them as it had the villagers of old. Desperation forced them to flee deeper into the forest, their hearts pounding in their chests. Twisting roots and gnarled branches seemed to reach out for them, and the shadows danced with malicious intent. It was a nightmare come to life, a relentless pursuit through the haunted heart of the Blackened Spire Range. Hours passed, and exhaustion gnawed at their resolve. Emma, her breaths ragged and frosty in the frigid air, stumbled upon a clearing in the forest, a clearing that should not exist in this labyrinthine wilderness. In the center of the clearing stood a circle of ancient, gnarled trees, their bark twisted and blackened. In the center of the circle, a pale figure stood, its form shifting and ethereal. It was the Frostbinder, and its mournful wail had become a chilling, eerie chant. The hikers watched in terror as it beckoned to them with skeletal fingers, promising warmth and sanctuary within its spectral embrace. Emma and Jack exchanged a desperate glance, their options dwindling. With a final surge of courage, they turned away from the Frostbinder's chilling allure and plunged deeper into the forest, hoping to find their way out of the mountains and escape the haunting specter that pursued them. As they ran, the night seemed to stretch on endlessly, the mountains themselves conspiring to keep them trapped in their malevolent grasp. The Frostbinder's haunting cry echoed in their ears, but they pressed on, driven by a fierce determination to defy the legends and escape the dark heart of the Blackened Spire Range. The night turned to gray dawn, and at last they stumbled upon a narrow trail that led them out of the mountains. They emerged, battered and traumatized, into the welcome light of day. Their companions, lost forever in the darkness, were never seen again. The legend of that ill-fated night in the mountains served as a chilling reminder to all who heard it, a reminder that in the shadow of the blackened spire range, the line between reality and nightmare could blur, and the mountains themselves held ancient secrets that were not meant to be uncovered. And so the legend of the vanished village lived on, a story of terror and survival in the heart of the mountains, a story that would continue to haunt the dreams of those who dared to venture into the abyss. In the heart of the rugged and desolate mountains, there lay a place that locals whispered about only in hushed tones, for it was a haven of darkness and despair. Nestled deep within the towering peaks, a forgotten village named Grimhaven stood as a testament to the horrors that lurked among the lofty crags. The tale of Grimhaven had been etched into the annals of mountain lore, passed down through generations, as a warning to those who dared to venture into its forsaken realm. It was a place where the line between the living and the dead grew thin, and where malevolent forces were said to roam freely. As the story goes, Grimhaven had once been a thriving community, a beacon of civilization amidst the harsh mountainous terrain. Its inhabitants had lived peacefully, harmonizing with the unforgiving wilderness that surrounded them. But all that changed on a fateful winter's night, when a blizzard of unparalleled ferocity descended upon the village. The storm raged for days, trapping the villagers within their homes and obliterating all contact with the outside world. With each passing hour, the cold gnawed at their souls and despair began to grip their hearts. And then, as if summoned by their desperation, a haunting figure emerged from the depths of the blizzard. This figure was known as the Winter Wraith, a spectral entity with icicles for fingers and eyes that gleamed like frozen sapphires. It whispered chilling promises of salvation to the villagers, offering them warmth and safety in exchange for their eternal servitude. Those who accepted the offer were never seen again, their souls forever bound to the Winter Wraith's icy domain. But there were some who resisted, determined to cling to their humanity despite the relentless cold. They banded together, seeking refuge in the village's old church, a crumbling stone sanctuary perched on a precipice overlooking the abyss. There they prayed for deliverance and hoped for a miracle. As the days turned into weeks, the blizzard showed no signs of abating, and the villagers in the church grew weaker with each passing moment. The specter of the Winter Wraith loomed ever closer, its whispers growing louder and more insistent. Madness clawed at their minds, and some began to wonder if surrendering to the creature's offer might be a lesser evil than facing the relentless cold. Then, one night, as the moon cast an eerie glow on the snow-covered landscape, a piercing scream shattered the silence. The villagers rushed to the windows and saw a sight that would haunt their nightmares for eternity. The church's once solid walls had turned translucent, revealing a ghastly vision of the Winter Wraith approaching from all sides. With no other option left, the villagers huddled together in a final act of defiance. They sang hymns of hope and lit candles, their feeble flames pushing back the encroaching darkness. But as the Winter Wraith's chilling touch reached out to claim them, the candles flickered and sputtered, and one by one they were extinguished. In the inky blackness that followed, the villagers' voices were silenced, and Grimhaven vanished from the world of the living. To this day, the mountains are haunted by the memory of Grimhaven and the terror that dwells within its forsaken ruins. Travelers who dare to venture too close to those accursed peaks speak of bone-chilling winds that whisper the names of the lost souls and eerie lights that dance through the night. They tell of a place where the living and the dead coexist, bound by an unbreakable curse, and where the Winter Wraith still roams, searching for souls to claim in exchange for false promises of warmth and safety. So beware, brave souls, should you find yourself amidst the desolate mountains, for Grimhaven and its terrifying tale are not mere legend but a chilling reality that may await those who dare to tread too close to the edge of darkness. In the heart of the rugged and desolate Appalachian Mountains, nestled far from civilization, there lay a forsaken place known only as Deadman's Hollow. It was a place shrouded in mystery where the trees seemed to whisper secrets and the wind howled with an eerie, mournful wail. The locals warned of the dangers that lurked within the hollow, cautioning anyone who dared to venture there. Legend had it that centuries ago a sinister cult had taken residence in Deadman's Hollow. They worshipped dark, ancient deities, performing unspeakable rituals to appease their malevolent masters. The cult's leader, a man named Ezekiel Blackwood, was said to have made a pact with the devil himself, granting him and his followers immortality in exchange for their loyalty. As the story goes, the cult grew more wicked with each passing year, conducting rituals that involved human sacrifice and the summoning of demonic entities. The mountain itself seemed to wither under their dark influence, the trees contorting into grotesque shapes, and the wildlife disappearing into the shadows. But one fateful night, a group of brave townsfolk, led by a determined sheriff, decided to confront the cult and put an end to their reign of terror. Armed with torches, pitchforks, and a deep sense of justice, they descended into Deadman's Hollow. The night was shrouded in an unnatural darkness as they ventured deeper into the hollow. Strange sounds echoed through the trees, like the agonized cries of souls trapped in eternal torment. As they neared the cult's hidden temple, the air grew colder, and the oppressive weight of malevolence bore down upon them. When they finally reached the temple, they were met with a horrifying sight. The cultists, their faces painted with grotesque symbols, chanted in an ancient guttural tongue. The leader, Ezekiel Blackwood, stood at the altar, a wicked smile on his face as he prepared to offer a young girl as a sacrifice. The sheriff and his companions sprang into action, but their torches flickered and died, plunging them into utter darkness. The cultists' laughter echoed through the temple as they revealed their true nature. They were not human. Their eyes glowed with an otherworldly malevolence, and their skin seemed to shift and writhe. A fierce battle ensued, but the townsfolk were no match for the supernatural powers of the cultists. One by one they fell, their screams echoing through the hollow. The sheriff, the last one standing, faced off against Ezekiel Blackwood in a final desperate struggle. As the two locked in combat, the very ground beneath them seemed to tremble. A fissure in reality opened and a monstrous, tentacled entity emerged, its presence so horrifying that it defied description. It devoured both the sheriff and Ezekiel, leaving nothing but an eerie silence in its wake. The cultists, now victorious, continued their dark rituals, and Deadman's Hollow became a place of pure malevolence. Anyone who ventured into the mountains near the hollow never returned, and their disappearances remained an unsolved mystery. To this day, the legend of Deadman's Hollow serves as a chilling warning to those who dare to explore the haunted depths of the Appalachian Mountains. The cursed place stands as a testament to the darkness that can take root in the human soul, and the terrifying consequences of making deals with forces beyond comprehension. The mountains themselves seem to weep for the lost souls trapped within Deadman's Hollow, their cries carried on the mournful wind, a reminder of the horrors that await those who tread too close to the heart of darkness. In the remote heart of the towering, snow-capped mountains, where the air is thin and the silence heavy, a group of intrepid adventurers embarked on a journey they would soon regret. They had heard rumors of a hidden valley nestled deep within these peaks, a place untouched by civilization, where nature's raw power held sway. The allure of uncharted territory drew them like moths to a flame, and they set out oblivious to the terror that awaited them. As the group ascended higher into the forbidding range, the world below faded away, replaced by the eerie and desolate landscape of the alpine wilderness. The trees grew stunted and gnarled, twisted by the relentless winds, and the snowdrifts became treacherous traps that swallowed whole those who dared tread upon them. The temperature plummeted, and an ominous darkness descended upon the mountain as night fell. The adventurers huddled around their flickering campfire, seeking solace in its feeble light. The howling wind echoed through the jagged peaks, creating eerie, mournful sounds that sent shivers down their spines. But the worst was yet to come. In the dead of night, a blood-curdling scream pierced the stillness, cutting through the group's restless slumber. Startled and alarmed, they sprang to their feet, clutching their weapons. The scream had come from their fellow traveler, Emma, who had been standing guard. Emma, her face contorted in terror, stuttered as she tried to explain what she had seen. She described a shadowy figure, impossibly tall and gaunt, with eyes that gleamed like burning coals. The apparition had whispered chilling words of warning, words that promised doom to any who dared trespass in this forsaken land. The group's leader, Michael, scoffed at the story, dismissing it as a product of exhaustion and the harsh mountain conditions. But doubt gnawed at their hearts as